Good morning. Welcome to Master Trader, where you can learn to use simple market and stock analysis to make money investing and trading. I'm Greg Capper. Today we're going to discuss the bottoming tail bar and what's going on in the markets. Let's take a look at this. So each in this chart of the S&P 500 ETF, the spiders, I've marked various bottoming tail bars, and they were everywhere yesterday. So the most powerful bottoming tail bars come after a move down, and they can signal a continuation move as well, but the most high odds ones that offer the best profits come after a move down to some area of support. This one occurred after a move up, and it certainly could have continued higher. But as I said, they're the lower odds ones, and it was followed by a topping tail bar, which was a breakout failure, and then it came back in again. Here's another one pulling back to some support. This one didn't correct very much, but it worked out well, and we gotten one yesterday. Now, today is Friday. We're going into the weekend, so we'll see how much this actually follows through. It'll be interesting to see. We know the markets are up here pre-market. We're going to take a look at that. We have a bottoming tail bar in the NASDAQ 100 as well yesterday, and that was anticipating the market moving higher. At this moment, it is above. I think it is above the prior high. Let's take a look here. I believe, yes, it is. Here's a 24-hour chart. You can see where it is right now. It just made another little move up here, and it's coming in a little bit, but it is in an uptrend. Here's the S&P futures, and you can see the bottoming tail bars that have been forming. And since this is a 24-hour chart, it's not quite above this high yet, and this is a topping tail bar. So what do you do when you have opposing signals, meaning topping tail bar versus bottoming tail bar? Well, my rule of thumb is that you give the weight of the respect, so to speak, to the bottoming tail bars since the trend is up. Of course, you've got to take out that high, and we'll see if that happens today or whether it just backs off and continues to chop sideways. But markets are still up. Overall, they've been consolidating here for the last 2 weeks with bottoming tail bars that haven't followed through all that much, but they are suggesting that buyers are going to continue to show up on dips and the market will go higher. Now, the NASDAQ futures are being powered by Apple, which we'll take a look at, but you can see the bottoming tail bars that form in here as well. And this was the one from yesterday, and this market is up here a bit pre-market, coming into this topping tail bar and trying to get through it, and we'll see if it actually follows through. So let's take a look at Apple, which is soaring here after reporting earnings, and there was the bottoming tail bar that had formed yesterday, and here is trading right now. This was when it reported its earnings last night, and it just exploded in a blink of an eye to the upside about 3 or 4 points, and then spent a lot of time going sideways, had a dip near that starting point, and then back up again this morning, and on the jobs report, it pushed up a little bit more. So we've got a lot of signals here saying that this market should go higher. Now we wait and see if it's going to follow through in front of the weekend. Let's take a look at one more chart before we leave here, and here's the transportation index. And this 50-period moving average acts like an excellent reference point or a line in the sand on the daily chart for indices. And you can see another bottoming tail bar right here. But in this case, you've got this rounding type of a top here, a head and shoulders type of a top. And it doesn't mean it can't be negated, and by that I mean push up through it. It's got to get through this high here. We want to see these transports actually show relative strength rather than relative weakness, and they really haven't broken down badly enough to be a concern. But we do want to see them start playing catch up with the rest of the market, or it could be a sign of internal weakness that we're going to want to pay attention to, and we'll update that next. Have a great weekend and a great trading day, and we'll talk next week.